Hello, world. It is Thursday, May 14th. Today it's not sunny. It's kind of overcast and raining a bit. Um, I guess the good news is it is going to be in the 70s today, so got to look forward to that. Today's devotional is called The Longest Shortest Time, and it was written by Kit Novotny, and it's based upon 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 8, from the New Revised Standard Version. With the Lord, one day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years are like one day. Kit writes, the mysterious alchemy of sacred time, according to 2 Peter, sounds a lot like the dual nature of time with children. Time with kids does weird things. It drags like an endless witching hour bouncing on a yoga ball with a colicky newborn until your arms fall off, or 10 minutes keeping a squirrely toddler from certain death, which you swear was at least an hour, or the longest awkward silence with a pubescent teenager. There are days that feel like eternities, bottomless pits leading to new levels of exhaustion. Time with kids does weird things. It flies like some kind of fast-forward warp-speed carnival ride, the clock hand spinning. Parents through every age rub their eyes and ask the perennial question, when and how did my little baby turn into this big kid, or eventually into this grown adult, and sometimes this stranger? The comedian Tig Notaro has a joke that all her friends who are having kids send out totally predictable updates, inevitably laced with the question, can you believe it? Like, Caitlin is starting kindergarten this year. Can you believe it? After a long pause, she deadpans perfectly. I don't know. I mean, what is she? About 5? That sounds about right. Yeah, I can believe that. It's funny because it's true. But when it's your kid, the simple reality of time passing is hard to believe, impossible and miraculous, both the thing most longed for and most wished against. The days are long, but the years are short, as many a well-meaning acquaintance has offered to frazzle parents just trying to make it to bedtime. Time with kids, like time with God, does weird things. It is the longest, shortest time, which also happens to be the name of my favorite parenting podcast. It drags and flies, expands and contracts, and through it all, God is patient with us. Eternal One, all time is yours. Remind us by your amazing grace that when we've been here 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing your praise than when we'd first begun. Amen. The longest, shortest time. I think that's maybe what makes this coronavirus isolation time so difficult. We don't really know when it's going to end. And there are people on both ends of the spectrum, some that probably never want to go back to quote-unquote a normal life, and others that just want to shuck it all and just go back. There's patience that's required in everything, just like raising your kids. The time will come eventually, so don't wish it away. But you also have to take care to make the right decision. So that's what we're trying to do with our consistory when we're talking about decisions about when and how we will rejoin in worship together and begin using our building again. I mean, above all, we want you all to be safe. I want to be safe, because it does no one any good to have a place to worship God and give God praise when no one's left to do so. I also think that this is an interesting time because it's going to force us into rethinking what church is all about. Philip Gully had an interesting article. I'll have to share it on the church's Facebook page. And he talked about how there were big shifts in faith traditions after every major cataclysmic event, including the Black Plague and the 30 Years' War in Europe, and he's comparing what we're going through to that. So be patient. Pray. Love one another and love God above all else. We'll get there in time. But the future may look very different than the image we hold of the past. Hope you have a great day. Talk to you tomorrow.